2020, wow, it really has been quite a challenging year, and many of us are ready for this year just to be over and sort of turn the page and move on to 2021. But we feel we'd be remiss if we didn't acknowledge the tragedy and challenges of 2020, as we're going to talk about a little bit later. But we also don't want to miss looking back on some of the good that has happened, some of the good that you've been a part of in this very difficult year. Because we're tempted to believe something that really isn't true, that when life gets hard, God stops working. When life gets hard, God seems distant. When life gets hard, God becomes inactive. We believe that isn't true because the beautiful message of Christmas is that God moved into the neighborhood, as one version of John's account tells us. That God is with us, that God became light with us, even in the midst of very difficult times, like what Mary, Joseph, and the nation of Israel experienced. That when life got hard, God didn't stop working. God wasn't actually distant, and God was still active. No, God didn't stop working. God was still up to good, even in very difficult times. And the same is true today. So here are a few things that have reminded me that God is still up to good, even in the midst of really difficult times. We have 40 people in small groups who have made about 166 Zoom calls for those groups. Now, if you're in a group or you've helped lead a group, you've helped ensure that our community, the people in our community who are fighting loneliness, have been able to connect relationally, who are looking to grow spiritually, and that is a beautiful thing. 166 Zoom calls to remind each other that God has not left us, that God is with you. 2,380 minutes of video have been created. That's almost 40 hours of video for adults, students, and kids, sharing the message and hope of Jesus. 220 kids from our community have been welcomed through our trick-or-treat drive-thru, providing a safe and socially distant activity for families this Halloween. 1,202 pounds of food have been donated to support families who have been impacted by the pandemic. 15 blankets have been made for students and kids who are in need. 15 bikes have been assembled for kids who wouldn't get a Christmas gift otherwise. $22,260 have been invested in others. This money has been given away to our local and global nonprofit partners, serving kids, families affected by the pandemic, and so much more. So much good has happened, and it has happened because of you and through you. So I just want to stop and say thank you. I just want to say, way to go, way to be the church, way to bring the presence of Jesus and our God into the community.